This is the down and dirty branding discussion that'll either get you clicked on or looked over. First off, I want you to think here the last time you were on Netflix. For me, I love documentaries, right? And so I jump on my Netflix channel and it's got a sea of documentaries that it's serving towards me to watch. I noticed my friend is super into rom-com, right? So she opens up the window and she gets all these rom-coms that want us to click it. It's no different on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple. What is going to set you apart from that sea of covers that you're trying to decide to absorb from? Now, this is the high level and there's a lot more nuance to it, but we're going to start here. Target audience. So I implore you to go back if you haven't seen it already and see our target audience video, target persona, because really designating who this is going to be extremely impactful. A lot of people just set out to build a piece of cover art for their podcast. They don't think about the intention around the branding. I want you to think of some of the biggest brands in the world. They're extremely intentional with who they're targeting to. If you have a brand that's built for 13-year-old, 14-year-old kids, it's going to be bubbly and bright and fun and cartoony. If you have a brand that's high quality, let's say Bentley, then everything is going to be sophisticated. You want to think of the psychology of the coloring. You want to think of the psychology of the lettering. What is it that appeals to that target audience and what they're trying to gain from that? For instance, recently we helped 3 teenage triplets start a finance podcast. So we took several hours sitting down to define who the audience was. After that, we thought about the colors that were going to appeal to the finance audience and we landed on green. We thought about the font that would appeal to this demographic and we landed on a similar style to what looks like you would see on a dollar bill. We went with like this cartoony concept because then it would appeal to a younger audience. Everything was built towards a 17-year-old male audience. And guess what? When we launched the first video, that is exactly who hit the YouTube algorithm. Every single person that watched that video was around that 17-year-old male audience. If you're trying to hit a demographic that's high end, there's probably certain colors you want to stay away from. If you want to hit an audience that's a little bit more fun, then there's probably other colors. So no matter how many times I've done this, I always reference back and Google branding archetypes. You'll see a bunch of different things that people have put together. I especially like 2 versions. Number 1 is the one that puts the individual brand that we know, like let's say a Nike, into the archetype, so we can kind of like framework and have a mind towards what that brand is doing to that audience and what archetype that fits in. Another thing that gives me the framework really well is the one that has the jester or the lover or the magician. Just put your mind in a framework of the impact you want the brand to have. Color and branding has a lot to do with psychology. If your target audience is a 97-year-old man and you have pink cover with bubbly artwork, it's probably not going to appeal to them. I know it's so easy when I say it this way, but you wouldn't believe how many people do this wrong. So once you kind of get the framework for your mentality on how you're going to approach this, there's a couple different ways to go about producing the actual artwork. You can go on to an Upwork or a Fiverr. You can go out and download a Canva or something similar. There's so many tools out there, but it's going to take your mind and heart to specify how to use these tools. And then when it comes down to it for a podcast in particular, you need podcast cover art. That is the cover that you're going to use on Apple or Spotify, the thing that you see that's a little square box. Beyond that, if you're doing a video podcast, it's super smart to pay attention to all the branding on the YouTube channel. The banner art and the little profile photo things, those are all part of the branding. Also, in reference to YouTube, you want to think about your thumbnail because for each video, we'll have another one on thumbnail specifically, you're going to want to have a custom thumbnail. And it's going to want to, once again, throw back to your own branding. Then you've got your Facebook channel, you've got your Instagram channel, you've got your LinkedIn. All these are other pieces of cover work assets that you want to think about. You want the whole brand to flow through every single thing you do. And not only that, eventually you want it to even flow into things like your email address and things like that. Your branding will be the thing that speaks to everything. It'll also be at the forefront of a website if you choose to produce one. Your color scheme, your text, your pictures you use, this is all throwback to your branding. So that you can see why target audience comes first and branding comes right after before you build any asset for a podcast. There is a huge impact in doing this right. You want a way to set yourself apart as the podcast to click or give a chance in the sea of covers. Quite often, I'll reference back the storefront window. The storefront window on YouTube is your thumbnail, your title, and the first words of the description. These are the things that decide whether you're going to actually walk inside. Think about walking down Main Street in a small town right now. You see a window, they have their best stuff that draws you inside to know if you want to go in that building. You think about your cover art and your art assets the same way. What is the thing you can put in the window that's going to draw them inside, directed towards the person you want to come inside? That's the down and dirty on branding. There's so much more to it. Spend the time, the effort, and put your heart into it and direct it towards the target audience. Coming at you from Phoenix, Arizona, here at Backlot Studios, AZ Pod Studio, and Business Radio X. Please follow us, subscribe. We're doing tons of stuff locally to get everybody together. See you in the next video.